It's like when something like wellness influencer video starts with like, scientists don't want you to know.
Oh my God.
Comments are like, I promise scientists want you to know. That's literally all
Right.
you to do is know.
Exactly. Exactly. What do you mean?
Nuts.
Did I send you the woman? I'll save it for the nicotine. I'll save it for the nicotine section because
You did, and we have to play it out loud. Like,
okay. The
I
woman
hadn't
with
heard that connection with like the food noise, and also then she took them off and then had the food noise back. So let's see, what does that equal?
right
I guess you need to get addicted to nicotine.
to stop food noise. I cannot. I just watched her with my mouth agape. I was like, what?
And that was from last spring. I don't know if you saw. It was like April
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah. When I was looking up the nicotine stuff, yeah, there was 2025s and all of that. And I'm like, what the?
Insane. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Welcome back to another episode of Diet Culture Dumpster Fire. Are you cool if we just dive
I think
right
so.
on in? Yeah, this
Right
is
on
our monthly series where we unpack the latest headlines, wellness trends, and internet discourse that collectively made us say, what the actual fuck? What the hell? As always, this is not about shaming anyone, but we really want to look at the systems, particularly the misinformation, the messaging and the cultural narratives that really are shaping how we feel about bodies and food and health and wellness.
Yes. So today we are recapping all of the diet culture dumpster fire topics that we found pertinent in the month of July. I think one theme that kept coming up when we were planning today's episode is this question: what happens when ideology becomes more persuasive than a body of evidence? Like whether it's foodborne illness becoming a weight loss trend or hormone therapy becoming like good or bad depending on who's receiving it, or nicotine rebranded as wellness. We keep seeing the same pattern of who do you know? How do you know who to trust?
Right.
So
Right.
we will get into that, but to break it down topic by topic, we're going to talk about 3 topics today.
Yes.
So the Cyclospora outbreak, Taylor Farms, parasite weight loss.
Yep. That
We
was all of July.
all of July. Oh, you're right. Like, and probably going to lead into August, I can imagine, because we haven't really nipped that in the bud yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's just start there. I don't even need to introduce the next 2. We can tease them.
We'll dive in. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Where do we want to start? You
Yeah.
drafted us a beautiful timeline here, which we can go through first and then share our thoughts, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to this, right? There's, I think, obviously the huge just public health concern of
Yes.
what is safe? When is it safe? Are there other foods that are affected? We know that like multi-state Cyclospora outbreak was linked through an epidemiological investigation to shredded iceberg lettuce, supplied to Taco Bell, supplied by Taylor Farms, Mexico. And it's been kind of a mess of information since then.
Yes.
It's safe.
I
It's
think
not
that's great. A mess of information.
mess. And like there's been controversy with like the FDA initially like reported a positive Cyclospora finding and then later said it was a false positive, but it was on an unrecalled sample. So then Taylor Farms is like, oh, the FDA apologized to us. And the FDA is like, girl, no, we didn't.
No, we did not.
We did not. Like,
Oh my
the
gosh.
false positive doesn't like change the epidemiological evidence
Right.
linking the outbreak to the product, right?
Correct.
And so,
Correct.
of course, we saw like social media quickly shifted from discussing food safety to kind of talking about the politics of this issue, and also kind of joking about intentionally wanting to catch the parasite to lose weight, right?
Here's the thing. There is a level of like, that's not surprising, given what we live in, that people would want that. And also like, what? What do you mean that you want to what do you mean? So,
And I thought the whole, wellness side of Crazy Town was like, you got to get rid of we all have parasites and we have to get rid of them.
my gosh, yes. Take the supplements, do the protocols, the detoxes.
Right. So it's obviously we know that weight loss is not equitable to health, but yeah, it's funny that we kind of joke about it, but also not, because I mean, I feel like I can live in some dark humor and sometimes make some jokes when jokes aren't appropriate, but humor reflects culture, right? Like,
yes, it does. Yes.
most people probably don't literally want a parasite, but humor can sometimes reveal like some underlying beliefs or desires.
Truth
And as
fact.
we know, like diet culture has normalized this idea that suffering is acceptable or admirable, especially if it results in a smaller body.
Of course, because that's what everybody wants. That's what we should all be striving for.
So I hope our listeners are not like, yes, I would love to get this parasite to lose weight, but just in case, Cyclospora causes severe diarrhea, dehydration, fatigue, abdominal cramping, malabsorption, and like weeks or months of illness. I have seen
That
some like
sounds horrible.
Yeah, of people being like, I was in debilitating pain on my bathroom floor, like couldn't be inches away from the toilet.
Wow. That then would disrupt literally your whole life.
Yeah,
right?
Your job is just to shit your pants.
It's just, right? Like, also, who would want to go through that? Like, voluntarily is my question. Even the thought of vomiting or having diarrhea, I'm like, whatever I can do, never will I want to get that. I'm not over here being like, yeah, I got a week off of work. That sounds great.
And it's funny you say that too, because it does remind me of like a higher dose GLP-1 or even any dose GLP-1. Like we're chill with that. Like obviously not everyone experiences those side effects, but we, have seen from clients or from, in the news, like stories of people having really severe reactions to this and kind of similar. There's some parallels there, and we're more than willing in diet culture to prescribe or
And what came to mind is like it's infinitely cheaper to buy a bag of lettuce or a box of spinach than it is to get a GLP-1 potentially.
Also,
just saying.
Literally is cheaper, because I don't know if you have seen like at your grocery store, but like these products haven't been pulled. They are literally on sale. And the sticker in my Kroger is over the Taylor Farms logo. $1.54.
Amazing.
Amazing, crafty.
Amazing. I mean, wow. It's just wild.
It is.
And bonkers what is happening.
Just, like, the perspective of like who's right and who is wrong. Like Taco Bell, first of all, Taco Bell like was notified that they had ingredients that could be infected with this, and they voluntarily pulled those products. First off, what a time to be alive. Taco Bell is preventing diarrhea.
Right.
Full circle moment. Love that for us. So then all of this like shit comes down on, no pun intended, on Taco Bell, being like, oh, that's the problem. And really they're the ones like being responsible.
Responsible and taking it away. Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole, I'm interested to see like what comes out of it. Kind of, because it feels like it's like there are other outbreaks right now that we haven't really linked to a specific food. I know I mentioned like bacon was recalled that I saw last night. So we're now down to 33% of our BLT.
Which is, what are you going to do?
Which is rough.
My gosh. And vegan bacon is not the same.
Whoa.
It is not the same. So
this one's evolving.
Gosh. This one is evolving. It's wild on so many levels, which I think, I mean, we talk about this on the podcast and how it's related to systems. It's not just like, oh, I just want to lose weight. There's so much more. But I mean, I feel like you can see the politics, you can see the capitalism, you can see the diet culture, anti-fat bias, all of it in lettuce, which is, again, it's just wild. It's just wild.
Yeah. The zooming in, zooming out of it all is very interesting.
It's very interesting. Yeah. The other thing that came, I mean, I know we're talking about like, who do we trust, but you said a couple things with the word safety, and that's another interesting one. Even just from a plate, like I think about our clients, I think about what like psychological safety feels like, and just the role that safety plays in our ability to like regulate our nervous system and show up in the world and do different things. And so if on a systemic scale, already things are not safe, but if it's trickling down into food, then it's like, how do we establish safety? How do we find it if it's seeping in? If things are becoming unsafe in every facet of life?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And there's already so much mistrust. Like, I remember giving a talk a few months ago to a group of gals, and just the rapid fire questions and conversation about, like, tell me about all organic, and like, you can't even trust all organic, so you might as well just what?
What?
Not
What?
eat food? Like, so there is this huge level of fear about food safety, but also just this kind of belief that you can't trust anything in our food systems.
Right. Which is scary. It also, like, as you're talking about organic and things like that, as we get into our next two topics, this is going to come into play, but it's interesting what things people are and are not willing to put into their body, and what people consider safe and unsafe, healthy versus unhealthy, and then even to like how the broader system directly influences that as well. It's wild to have people saying organic is not safe, but then nicotine's cool. Let's just take that now.
Yeah, and everyone
It's
has
just
personal
wild.
choice, right? But
Of
like,
course.
yeah, it's an issue. I don't see it like going away anytime soon, and
Yeah.
it's hard. I'll also add, because we know I love to get political. We can't have
Please.
like food safety without funding food safety. It turns out.
Wait, what?
It turns out all that
What?
wasn't like waste, fraud, and abuse. It was like, actually important stuff.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? We're seeing the consequences now of all of the things that white men in positions of power have done. And I'm betting that they're not feeling the consequences as much as everyone else is feeling the consequences.
Not unless they found that special bag of lettuce for themselves, and maybe they're feeling some consequences.
Maybe. Gosh, we can only hope. We can only hope.
But yeah, like, we have to fund these things. They, like, the specialized CDC lab team that focuses on the Cyclospora parasite shrank from 11 scientists down to 3 following budget cuts. This Cyclospora parasite team within the CDC, this division, lost $30 million in funding after the administration cut operations tied to the U.S. Agency for International Development. Sick.
My God.
And the CDC's Foodborne Disease Active Surveillance Network, which is FoodNet, scaled back mandatory tracking for Cyclospora and 5 other pathogens to optional monitoring. So not only is it like, like, we don't even actually know.
That's okay. Yeah. We don't know what's going on.
Because we're not tracking it. Yeah. It reminds me of when Trump said, stop testing for COVID. You'll have less positive tests. He's not wrong. But what
obviously.
Like,
what the fuck? Just I feel like maybe that's the title of this episode. It's just like, what the
wellness?
The actual, what the wellness? Oh, I like that. What the wellness? That is wild. And also infuriating for so many reasons. One of which touches on our other topic of testosterone and the cost of what it will be to have military personnel tested for testosterone deficiency, which is very unnecessary. And yet we are cutting funding for incredibly necessary things like parasite outbreaks and foodborne illness and food safety.
And like pediatric cancer research. I swear. SNAP benefits.
Oh my God. Like SNAP benefits. Yep. Yes.
So that's a good segue, Jen. Let's talk about our second topic, which is testosterone, gender-affirming care, and some like hypocrisy, right?
Some big ass hypocrisy. Unfortunately, I saw this when it came out. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth put out a video talking about wanting to take care of people's longevity in the military, all of that, and then said that he was going to start implementing testing for testosterone deficiency among male military personnel. So many things. But as I was doing a little bit of research for this last night, unfortunately, I had to hear him say that 50, 100,000 times in every video. And I'm just like, I can no longer research because I can no longer hear him say this.
I know. And the smug look on this face.
Yes. The big thing that not only, I mean, everyone is saying, so I'm going to echo it. This is gender affirming healthcare.
100%.
For cis men. And apparently that is the only type of gender affirming care that is acceptable. And I didn't even put all the research here, right? Like all of the attacks on gender affirming care for trans, non-binary individuals, where it is literally life-saving care, literally saving lives. And yet they have a fuck ton of feelings about how that is so inappropriate, yet they are going to do something that is completely unnecessary for male personnel. This was not for women either. No. Just for men. And the cost, again, we're spending money on shit that money doesn't need to be spent on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let me pause. Your thoughts before we get to the Jesse Waters piece, which I read it in the outline and I was like, okay, what does this mean? And then I kept reading and then I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And then I had to go watch the videos and
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, lots of thoughts on that piece. But like, this idea that maybe we get to the Jesse Waters thing and then I'll be able to spill all
get everything.
Yeah.
Get everything. Yeah. Jesse Waters is, I don't even know what network this human is on.
Fox News, of course.
Fox News, obviously. As there was discussions around this, said, watch out, ladies, in response to increased testosterone use. Mm-hmm. For male members of the military.
I'm actually going to find it because it's so disgusting and jarring.
Yeah. Just watch. Endurance, muscle mass. So yeah, I want these guys on it. But you know what's going to happen? The guys that don't need it are going to take it to triple boost. Right. And then they're going to get out there. And women on base, you guys better be careful. Port calls, women in Asia, you better be careful. Because these guys are going to be wild animals. And you better watch out.
Hello? You should have held his hand. There are women sitting on that panel in front of him.
And I don't know if obviously there's so much back there with like, acting like SA is funny. And also he's not wrong. Like the people that, like, also the NIH study that I read just talking about testosterone use and, all Hegseth said was men over 30 getting tested. So I think this study was particularly in, I don't know the actual age demographic of it, but it was talking about the benefits of testosterone. And in most cases, it increases libido. But the actual like memory, cognition, like mental health benefits are not well documented. And so again, what's the goal?
What's the goal? What is the actual goal? It is, I feel like I'm at a loss for words. I'm just so enraged.
Like, I can hear people being like, well, why wouldn't you want us to have the strongest military in the world?
Sure.
But like, is it? Like, what does strong mean?
What does strong mean? Yes. Is it necessary? Is the cost worth whatever the potential benefit would be? Right? Like, we want to spend, not we, they would like to spend all this money doing something that is unnecessary that could maybe help our military, would definitely increase violence against women.
And it's such a honest thing, right? Because they're talking about how low testosterone can cause sleep disruptions and this and this and this. And it's like, okay, what else could cause that? And also, are you saying causation versus correlation? Like, have we addressed these base things? Do we have support for the military to have proper sleep and access to all of the things that we would want to support our clients with health promoting behaviors?
Right.
Including
mental health.
Including mental health.
Right.
Wait, especially
mental health for the military, who, like, you are actively killing people. That does something to a person, right? Like, it is so necessary.
Yeah. And that is not to say that like testosterone replacement therapy or hormone replacement therapy is not essential for some individuals. And when you are deficient in that, you can supplement with that and your level, like that is something you and your doctor can talk about. But it doesn't just extend to cis white males, as we know. So let's talk about gender affirming care. What counts? What do people think of? What is it actually?
Yes. I am going to say that when we say the phrase gender affirming care, people just think of transgender and non-binary folks getting care. However, it extends much more beyond that, right? Like you said, testosterone replacement therapy, gender-affirming care can be a treatment for menopause, for breast reconstruction after mastectomies, for fertility care, for some cisgender women, like depending on certain medical situations, and treatment for delayed or is that precocious? Precocious? Precocious puberty. And also trans folks. And so it can be demonized for trans folks. It can be underfunded. Let's be real, underfunded, particularly among women, as is breast reconstruction, fertility care, and menopausal treatment. Underfunded, and we're not going to care about any of that or studied, right? But these are the people who we care about. And that sends a message.
They're our military, Jen.
They should be most important, right? They're cis white men, which perfectly fits in with, white supremacy and all of this, all of things, right? It's just infuriating. And then we talk about what is masculinity? What is the level of testosterone? Are they assuming that the level of testosterone in a man indicates their level of manliness and masculinity?
100%. Even though, you might have to cut this, but what they end up describing sounds pretty gay to me.
Girl, did I send you that video of that woman who, she's talking about, she's a politician?
I watched her a couple weeks ago. Incredible.
Yes. Incredible.
And that wasn't even the one I saw. It was more of a really old, God, I can't remember his name, but this idea of what a soldier would look like. And it was all this thin waist, broad shoulder, certain facial structures. Gay.
Gay.
But again, for someone who is so homophobic and against LGBTQ plus community, girl. Right.
You're figuring out a way to make it work for you.
Ugh.
It's so many layers. It is.
And I obviously am not saying that as a derogatory, right identifier, right? I'm just the underlying themes here, it's just, it's all interesting.
It's so interesting. This is not going to be probably a fully formed thought that I will keep in here.
Join the club.
I have been just raging against the patriarchy lately, just raging and wanting to understand the origins. How did we fucking get here, right? And I saw this, it must have been on TikTok or something, this woman talking about how men are essentially generations upon generations of men are so wounded that they are unable to create life like women can. And because of that, they are essentially wanting to exercise dominance over women and wanting to create things in their own way. That's probably not exactly all of it, but it just gets me thinking with this of they are trying so hard to establish dominance. And it ends up coming across as silly and childish. And you're a little boy. When I look at Trump, I'm just you are a 5-year-old little boy who's upset right now, throwing a temper tantrum. And it's not cute. And it's embarrassing for you. And it's also embarrassing for our country. That these are the people we look up to.
Through the cabinet. You're hearing everyone watching Pete Hegseth give testimony and say, you have Trump derangement syndrome. Do you hear how silly you sound, sir?
So silly. How embarrassing for you.
Which brings me to my final point of, I think, this is also so saucy today. I think that Pete Hegseth really just wants this gender-affirming care for himself so he can learn how to do a proper kettlebell swing.
Girl, yes. Or, first of all, as we talked in our fitness story episode yesterday, I want people to have good form. It's painful to watch that. I also watched a video of him trying to do a chest press, and I'm form is not correct. You're not going to be able to do it.
We have so much footage of him lifting weights. It's insane.
Why?
Because he's a big, strong, manly man. How else is he going to
show off his muscles?
But I know we'll talk about this more in our men's series, but yeah, just this idea of like, what is masculinity? What does toxic masculinity look like? And like, why are we not recognizing these patterns when it's right?
Right. Exactly. And like, the thing is, I think masculinity, it's not attractive. It's not safe. And says more about that man that like, it tells you everything you need to know about him. Like the insecurities are showing. It's gross, right? I would much rather you tell me about your feelings, right? You get that out. Yes. You express it, right? Toxic masculinity it's just all the emotions are just stuck inside of you. And it's not cute.
Yeah. And that doesn't, I mean, again, I'm like trying to play devil's advocate in my head of like, don't want all these beta boys out there. Like, hi, sir, you can also like live in a physically strong body and also like be able to have empathy and express yourself in a healthful way. Like, it is not one or the other. And I hate that like dichotomy that we kind of talk about. Like, it's so all or nothing. And that's not how humans are.
100%. 100%. It is frustrating.
I want Jesse Waters to go away. Such predator energy. Like, he's talked about like how he met his wife. Do you know this story?
No.
Jen, he literally like slashed her tires so that she would have to ask for a ride, and talks about this to his audience, like as if that's like a funny, like sneaky, that's predatory.
Predatory? What the actual fuck do you mean?
Yeah. So he's problematic to begin with, but like, looking up, like researching for this episode, one of the big things I saw really among military members, like doing stitches of this and then looking at the actual like stats, like sexual assault in the military remains a documented ongoing problem.
Mm-hmm.
And humor just kind of normalizes the seriousness of that and makes survivors less likely to be believed, which is already an issue.
Right.
And so like this joke only works if we accept one of two ideas. Testosterone makes men sexually aggressive, or sexual assault is an acceptable punchline. And which is, I'm glad no one, like, it was painful to watch even, other people on that panel just be like, no.
Read what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, it already, I mean, working with clients, not only just working with clients, but also knowing, like talking to people and hearing stories of people who have been sexually assaulted. Like it is not something to joke about. Like it is so serious and so significant and such a trauma to the person that like, it's just fucked that people, and this man at the scale that he is joking about it and thinks that it is fine.
It's disgusting. Big sad. Any final thoughts on just testosterone in general? I know it's not really about testosterone, right?
Right. I mean, healthcare, bodily autonomy, who gets care and who doesn't, which I mean, definitely ties in with eating disorders. We talked about who gets care and who doesn't get care. But no, as you said, I was like, seemed like a great segue to nicotine.
Okay.
As well.
This is loaded, I feel like.
This is. Yeah. I was surprised. Nicotine has rebranded itself. And the wellness and longevity medicine, which I discovered that corner of TikTok yesterday, they're all about it. They're all about the most addictive substance. Not smoking, not vaping. Nicotine in the form of gum and other such patches and such. So, yeah. You introduced me to this through the not so lovely Jillian Michaels, who I feel like we could do episode upon episode of her dumpster fireness. But what is she claiming about nicotine?
So she did an entire, I'm pretty sure, Apple podcast episode.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yes. And let's see, what is it even called? Because it's the comprehensive health benefits of nicotine is what the podcast is called.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
It
Okay.
actually is from 2024, it looks like. But she
Oh,
has
shit. Okay.
recently like been on, I don't even know what news channel or panel or whatever it was.
Mhm.
Just kind of, they asked her, "Are you a nicotine enthusiast?" She said, "I'm a nicotine user," and then talked about all of the benefits of it.
Mhm.
So let's not even, without even getting into the diet culture of it all, because some of the benefits have to do with food noise and appetite control
Huh?
without that even existing. Pros and cons, like this being a wellness benefit. One of the biggest things that her and other nicotine enthusiasts have shared, I guess she didn't identify herself as that, but another nicotine
Mhm.
enthusiast I saw really hones in on this idea of not getting addicted. Like
Okay.
basically microdosing nicotine and not just don't get addicted to it. You know, you have to be really careful with it. This is
Just don't do it. Sure.
known to be one of the most wildly addictive substances. Right? That doesn't, you know, addiction potential doesn't necessarily equate with like harm,
Right.
right?
Right.
However, the potential for harm becomes increased whenever you're dealing with a highly addictive substance.
Correct. Even if you're micro dosing it,
Right.
which is what is, I know we're going to share this video. Like, what is the dose that is a micro dose? Because the one video I saw was like, oh, I did this amount. Oh, and then I added more later in the day. Oh, and then I did a little bit more.
Well, and then she goes on to say like, and then when I took the patches off, like all my cravings came back, my food noise came back. Like, so you're saying we do need to become addicted to it? Like, what's the advantage?
Right. Which exactly. Other than a handful of hours out of your day where maybe you are somewhat productive. What are the other pieces in here? Maybe, yeah, your appetite is more controlled and you're more focused, right? But like, are those actual benefits though? Or is it just like, this feels nice to me and I
Right,
don't
like,
want to eat?
this is
Right?
a drug and the drug is doing the drug thing and I feel good. On the
Yes.
drug. Like,
Yes.
just like caffeine
As
is
you
a
would.
drug and other, we all have
Right.
choice to, do or not do any drug that we want to do, right? But like when it spins into this idea that like it could actually be for wellness, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Because even if it did, so let's say like some of the potential short-term benefits might be things like attention, right? Of course, it is a stimulating,
Stimulant?
right?
Yep.
Maybe fine like motor skills, attention, memory, like you mentioned. It also elevates blood pressure and heart rate when you're using it.
Mhm.
Increases the risk for blood clots, like sleep issues, dizziness. There's of course with any substance or drug there are pros and cons, I guess you could say. But like in what world, I guess, do these potential pros outweigh the potential cons? I don't see.
Right. I mean, the thing that comes to mind, and I guess I want to say this carefully, is like when I used to do intuitive eating coaching, I would tell clients, we're about to do something really hard. Like not a lot of people do this. And if you were to go back to dieting or whatever, like I get it. It's easier. Right. And so with things like this, it feels like, oh, it's just easier to take something that looks shiny, like nicotine. It also just then speaks to like the culture that we live in that has conditioned us to use things like nicotine to get minuscule benefits and the potential for a lot of harm. And that the little teeny tiny bit of a benefit outweighs all the harm that could come. And I feel like wellness culture often doesn't talk about the potential harms or the trade-offs or makes it seem like it's not that big of a deal. You'll get a little bit of diarrhea from the parasite, but you'll be thin, right?
Okay,
You'll become addicted to something, but like, you won't think about food for a day. Like, what?
Yeah, no, that's a great thing to highlight. Like, and then it seems like the payoff is always some kind of like weight loss or shrinking body or like that is always paramount, like to any kind of side effect.
Totally.
Yeah. Ugh.
It just, and the other thing that comes to mind with that is like, I think we're all wired to want to like, to belong and to be seen. And like, our culture has been created such that being in a smaller body allows you to feel like that is happening. Because we know that just because your body is smaller or that you lose weight doesn't automatically mean you are accepted or you belong or all of that, right? It's just, that is what culture tells us. And so I think behind it, yeah, we all want to belong. We want to be seen, but this isn't the way to do it, even though that's what culture tells us should be the way, if that makes sense.
Yes, it absolutely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me grab the video you sent because it is wild.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have some thoughts on
Update.
You might need to cut some of this, but
Patch. If you know, you know. I have been talking about this on my page. I'm documenting my journey along the way, but I just started microdosing the nicotine patch. There's a ton of different research as far as, the benefits to it for brain fog, cognition, autoimmune, long COVID, various things. I really implore you, if this seems like something in your wheelhouse, to go and kind of do your own due diligence, your own research.
of course, do your own research.
Smashing success. I did a 3.5 and yesterday. I got ballsy yesterday. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so the first day I did a 3.5 milligram. I put it on in the morning. I took it off at 6:30. Slept like a baby. Had maybe like a little teeny tiny headache, and that was it. Felt great. No food noise, energy, clarity, no brain fog. But yesterday, a little big for my britches. Okay, I did 2 patches, so 7 milligrams total. I initially felt like almost like borderline kind of like agitated. You know, I'm not a quitter. You know what I mean? So I just pushed through. And I felt great in the afternoon. I didn't nap like I normally have to.
I bet.
worked like an animal on my computer.
So stimulated.
Felt really good. And this is where it got a little ballsy. Okay. Really like toward the end of the day on day 1, as soon as I took the patch off at like 6:00, I definitely felt like my energy tank, and then the food noise, like the cravings. And like, I just have nonstop food noise. And I'm not going to lie, like that is definitely like one of the big things I'm hoping to kind of like achieve with this, is just to kind of like nix the food noise, curb appetite. I just recently gained 10 pounds, so I'm just trying to get it off. So, if that happens, great, wonderful. If not, the cognitive benefits for me alone, that outweighs it. So
The 2 days of cognitive benefits alone outweighs it.
Right. And as that video continues, she's like, oh, I just had this and I felt itchy here and I did this, but I was great.
Girl.
Ma'am.
And like
Ma'am.
talking about like when you take it off, the food noise comes back. Does it sound like this is a permanent solution to the food noise then? No. And are you microdosing if you're doubling your dose? What is microdosing?
Right. Because literally, I feel like as that video goes on, she's like, oh yeah, and I had the 3rd patch.
Stop. I didn't even watch it.
Okay. The thing here that comes to mind, I saw something recently about food noise and how like maybe it's just your body telling you that it needs some food.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we have a huge problem in our culture of
Just hungry
between physical hunger and food noise. Yeah.
Right. And it's wild. And I know we use examples like this all the time, but I think about like, we're not over here trying to do different things so that we don't have to use the bathroom throughout the day. I just want to decrease my need to go to the bathroom. Like, if I could just take this, then I would only have to pee once a day and it would be great, right?
Like normal body functions, we find like
right.
they're a problem or like a symptom of something, and they're just
right.
our body's function. Yeah.
If somebody said that, we'd be like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're trying to do that, right? But then with food and hunger, it's like, no, we should not be hungry. I should only like,
I thought you were literally talking about a real example, and I'm like, fucking probably. Like, but I hear you.
There is. Maybe there
is. Your body is telling you something, and you're trying to find things that help you ignore it. And instead of honoring it, or we see it as a problem because we demonize hunger constantly.
Exactly.
How do you find ways to stave off hunger, to curb appetite?
Right.
And I think we kind of run into the same thing like with caffeine and caffeine abuse a little bit, right? Like,
yep.
We know it stunts it suppresses our appetite. We know it can kind of increase some anxiety or productivity, depending on how you look at it or how it feels in your body. And again, it's a very temporary thing. And is that can't be a long-term solution for anything.
For anything, right?
Kind of same thing, right? Like if we are like chugging caffeine all day long, like we're going to feel anxious and our heart rate and blood pressure are going to be increased. And where is kind of this balance of enough?
Right. And I think about the productivity piece too, and just capitalism and hustle culture. I mean, and also too, we have to have food to be able to be productive.
That's a great point.
Just
like, why don't we just white knuckle it through life and like, work is,
it's just a mind fuck.
It is.
Truly. So nicotine, not great. Wouldn't recommend.
And again, like, this is like, not a question of like whether adults should be allowed to choose, right? We make informed decisions every day on food, on beverages, on alcohol, on caffeine, on cannabis, on nicotine. Like, the world is your oyster. But like, maybe we question who is promoting nicotine as a wellness solution. What is actually the goal?
Yes.
And does that actually make sense for you as a wellness tool?
Right. Because this is just yet another diet culture is so crafty.
She's good.
That now nicotine is like, it's just, and again, it's like the glass has broken for us, right? And like, I feel like we can see it everywhere. And there's so many times where I just want to be like, can you just not see like that this is what's going on? But we're not eating. And so our brains are not functioning. And so we're just caught in this.
Seriously.
So.
I do all too well.
You do all too well. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, I mean, wellness culture, diet culture, it's really good at repackaging things, right? Restricting food. Nope. It's called fasting right now. Not compulsive exercise, but like you're being very disciplined with what you're doing. Appetite suppression. You are optimizing your body. Because if you don't have to stop and eat, you can do more things, right?
And we're like, no, that's not optimal.
That's not optimal. Yes. It's just, and now we have nicotine, right? Is now you're biohacking. You're working for longevity that's not what the research says, right? And so it's just the language changes, ever evolving. Because it can keep up so quickly, but the beliefs are always the same. And it's all, again, tied to these systems of oppression that we always talk about. Capitalism, patriarchy, body ideals, white supremacy, all the things, right? And so all of the stories we talked about today, like a parasite, a hormone / gender-affirming care, and nicotine, might on first glance not seem related. We hope that we strung all of those together for you, but it's this underlying question of like, who do we trust? And who has the power also to like influence the information? Because we've got politicians we talked about today. We've got influencers. We've got scientists and healthcare professionals that we're talking about. People in positions of power. And how are they using that power either for the greater good or to advance their own agenda? And then everyone else essentially is suffering the consequences of that.
How bleak.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great way to summarize this dumpster fire.
We didn't rate these dumpster fires.
We didn't,
like we did in the last one.
Literally took it out because they're dumpsters. They're
all 5s.
I just kept getting
Everything is a flame.
Pete had says voice popping into my head. So but I mean, I guess if because I think we talked a little bit, about the nuance in in each topic and kind of playing devil's advocate, but it's just a convoluted mess.
It is. It's rough out there.
It is.
It's rough out there.
If you guys are listening and you have ideas or topics that you're like, how could they not have touched on this? Please DM us or comment on this episode so that we know what you guys want to hear about for our August recap.
Yes.
But that is a wrap on our July edition of Diet Culture Dumpster Fire. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
And if this episode made you think or challenge something that you've heard online, maybe gave you a new perspective, we would love if you would subscribe on Apple Podcasts or follow us on Spotify. Please leave us a 5-star rating or review so that more people can find our show. And we will see you guys next month for whatever dumpster fire the internet hands us.
We're ready for it. See you guys.